look. Here is the sun winched upwards towards the top of the sky. Mum is driving. It's midsummer. An hour into the journey, the sun reaches its highest point of the northern hemisphere's year and balances there a full minute, braggy and resplendent. Nobody notices. Mum doesn't notice, though she does find herself thinking about the nights in northwest Ireland and how it will barely get dark. The sun will skim the horizon and come back up again. 15 Junes she spent there, watching the thwarted setting of the midsummer sun. Soon enough the roads quieten, the rush ebbs, and the north opens out, a radiance in the chest. To be here anonymously in the midst of life, anonymous even to oneself. This motorway that winds between the mountains of the Lake District is like the ones on car racing video games, empty, fast and scenic. A brief stop for coffee from the flask in a lay-by, and a disjointed moment of thinking to let Flan out of the boot, then remembering that Flan is a memory and nothing more. What was flesh and blood is now a firing of synapses. The dog's spotted nose and folded ear and mad doting stare are now nothing more than electrical impulses in Mum's brain. And how? Whoever agreed to these transformations, shoddy as they are? The night is gathering. The traffic thins. What will await her in Ireland? Mammo's cottage that's been empty 6 years, and which it falls to her to clear out. And when it's cleared and the house is sold, then Mammo too will be reduced to electrical impulses. What has become the shape of Mum's world these 6 years, without her own mum in it? Now the border has been crossed into Scotland, and the longest day of the year is done. It's 1 a.m, and even then could you call the sky truly dark? The moon is soft and cottony. Life is so beautiful, so weird, so cranky, so unsteady, so beautiful. I know Mum will be thinking this. The world is so improbably beautiful. On the ferry from Stranraer, Mum sleeps. Not long, just enough. Mum doesn't sleep overly much. Mum threads her way quietly through the days and nights of her life, a small figure with silken blonde hair and tiny loving hands, a wisp, halfway to the angels. But when she drives, she doesn't feel like a wisp. She's insuperable, and the earth gains solidity, and there's a car around her gauzy form, a hunk of metal. When they dock, she finds the car amidst all the others, like finding a friend in a crowd.
I'm adding to the sound
the dog?
Does the yellow go
And
on?
once more, the thought.
Looking at the yellow, so
The dog is a dog of the neurons, a dog of complex electrical
the
circuitry.
dog of the electrical
Dog
circuit
gone, dog.
is that healthier
She
signal?
coaxes the car to a start.
Yeah. So,
She takes the long way round, always, north from the port. The first time she left England as a child to see the parcel of land her parents had bought, wind-battered peat moor and stooping cottage bashful under its thatch, her parents brought her this way. This way you go via the now famous dark hedges, a road tunnelling between ancient beech trees, crooked and hexed, a threshold. This entangled, enchanted, creepy, leaning puzzle of trees that shadows the road was, her parents told her, the portal between the UK and Ireland, the border. And she came to learn that on its far side was a land flowing with ocean, dense with mountain, packed with the fantastical, giants beyond. At Derry, which she only came to know much later was the true border, were men tapping the car window with guns. What is your business here? And so she thought, epic land of wildness and war. Now when she drives through the dark hedges, there are signs asking her not to. All the visitors are damaging the trees, the signs say. But she recedes, because she was here long before the film crews and tourists. And for her, it's about rites of passage. How can the voyage be made except through here? Of course there are other ways around, but this is how she passes from one reality to another, and oneself to another.
So folks might still say, can you make it louder? So let's see what happens if you crank this gain. At 3 o'clock.
Okay, they are all at 3 o'clock. We also have just a little bit more volume on the board.
On the master?
Not the master's maxed, but the 3 sliders are
Yeah.
all down a little bit.
I think these work differently. I'm less afraid, so try it. Try pushing those all the way up.
And not doing the game at 3 o'clock?
A little of both, maybe.
How about if I put it at 2 o'clock and the master and the sliders
Because these
all maxed out?
co-pilots said they work differently, and you've got to feed them,
More
30 decibels, 30 gain. Whereas
Right.
last time we feed them 4,
And then go
and
and
they're
slide,
blasting.
right. Well, that's why we were having problems with them at first, right? We couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, nothing,
because we
zero.
weren't sending in enough gain.
0, yeah.
How can she slip from this side of the needle to the other without travelling through the eye? Mamo went into disarray. Her brain disintegrated.
What is
Serves
this
her right,
fucking
Mum used to think. Then in a flash would unthink it. It isn't about what someone
No, it's
deserves so
Irish,
much
though.
as what you can bear to give.
He's Irish.
And you can't bear to keep giving hatred and blame to someone who's already lost everything.
Better?
The last time she did this journey, it was to usher Mamo more genially toward death, which she did. Be nice to Mum, thought Mum, pretentious and absurd though she is, insisting on being called Mamo, not
Pretentious
Granny,
and absurd
though
though
she's
she
English
is.
to the bone.
Insisting on being called Granny.
Life hasn't been easy for her.
It hasn't been
It's
easy
not
for
her
her.
fault.
It's not her fault.
It's not all her
It's
fault.
not all of her fault.
This will be
This
the last time
will be
you'll
the
see her
last time
alive.
in her life.
So be nice.
So be nice. It'll be very nice. Check,
Now
check,
the
check.
Loch Salt Road is
I got
lined
ahead of
with
you. Salt
gorse
Road
and
has been
fuchsia, and the
an issue
tufted
in
hillocks
all
of
the
the
front
fields
row.
close by.
Yeah, close by.
Home,
Home, home, home.
Donegal.
Donegal.
Along
Right
the
along
loch,
the
up
way.
the hill, and then the
I
vista
feel like,
will
what was
spread
that
out
Saturday Night
into
Live sketch where
mountains,
whatever her name is
sea,
tries
and
to sing
sky,
along even though she's
among
making
which
it up as she
Mamo's
goes?
empty cottage is a white dot that can't
How's
quite
that?
yet be seen. Coming up is the drive where there once used to be iron gates and children playing and dogs barking and Grandad heading off to a motorbike rally and Mamo heading off to sing 4-part harmonies, perfectly powdered and perfumed in a silk blouse, cream trousers and gold slip-ons. Back and forth Mum has driven for decades. The round trip is 1,000 miles. In my mind these days, I never see her return, only take the road north to Scotland
She's never
and
heard it
dissolve
before, and
into
she's
the
singing
evening
along.
of the
She's
summer
like for a second
solstice.
behind.
I see her pass through the dark hedges where the strobing light between trees cuts her car into fast.
Okay. All right, I am not going to stress then,
Stress not.
because I have that cranked harder than I usually like things cranked at home, but there's plenty of volume.
Right.
What else do we need to troubleshoot?
Should be it until it's all not working when I sit down.
I'll be on a train, don't try to call me.